is a very different place today than when President Reagan was in office. I recently came across a speech Reagan gave during the Cold War, and it reflected so many of today's tensions. I feel his words resonate with us all now. Here they are. To every person who's trapped in tyranny, including Ukraine, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Cuba, and Vietnam, we send our love and support. Your struggle is real. Your dream is our dream. And someday soon, you too will be free. Now, what is happening in Ukraine today is tragic. And I want to recognize the Reagan Foundation for awarding President Zelensky the Reagan Freedom Award. President Zelensky has demonstrated his bravery to the world by his willingness to speak truth and fight for freedom for the Ukrainian people. May God bless him, and may God bless the people of Ukraine. Now, it may seem ironic that the very first Freedom Award was presented to Mikhail Gorbachev by President Reagan himself. What a hopeful time that was. But decades later, Gorbachev's successor is attempting to destroy his legacy. Make no mistake, Vladimir Putin is an evil man who, like other dictators throughout history, despises freedom, and he hates those who seek it. We are watching daily assaults on democracy, and they are a reminder to all of us of President Reagan's famous words: freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in our bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in the United States when men were free. That is why in 2020, more than any other governor in America, I traveled to 17 states to campaign for President Trump's re-election efforts. I knew that elections have consequences, and I did not want to wake up and have a leader who wouldn't put America first. His administration restored America's dominance on the world stage, made us energy independent, feared our adversaries, and we were respected by our allies. He created an economy pre-pandemic that was one of the strongest this nation has ever seen, and I want it to continue. And he defended our borders. A country with no borders is no country at all. That is why I've deployed the South Dakota National Guard to help ensure that our southern border is secure. Now, unfortunately, with the help of the mainstream media, Joe Biden was elected President of the United States. And sadly, America's president today is not fighting for our freedoms. He's not protecting our freedoms. In fact, Joe Biden is doing the exact opposite. In our time tonight, I'll share just a few thoughts, first on our international challenges that we face, and then on what we need to do here at home. And I'll say at the start, if we defend democracy in Ukraine, but we lose our fundamental freedoms here at home, then we will have failed. Joe Biden has been wrong on every major foreign policy decision that he has been a part of for almost 50 years. If the leadership in the White House had reflected peace through strength, by supporting our military, by standing strong against Iran, North Korea, and China, by not facilitating a devastating, disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan that resulted in the death of 13 American patriots, then we would not see an emboldened Putin. Even now, President Biden doubles down on our weakness. He's crippling our domestic energy supply. In fact, he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, which was to come through our state of South Dakota, while allowing Nord Stream 2 to continue to operate. Biden continues to rely on Russia to broker a nuclear deal with Iran while militias launch rockets at Americans in Iraq. Biden is also asking the dictator in Venezuela to pump more oil at the same time that he muzzles American energy producers. It is absurd. And worse, it empowers America's adversaries while making us weaker. These are clear threats to the security of the United States, but there are more. China's ruthless communist leaders are not only strengthening their military, they're manipulating their currency, stealing our IP, using regulations to create unfair trade practices, and paying lip service to agreements from the UN while the US is held to a different standard. They also have their sights set on our food supply. They are buying up our chemical, our fertilizer, and our processing facilities that put groceries on our shelves. When another country grows our food, they control our food. When another country controls our food, they control us. This is all a part of China's plan to control the United States. It is the president's job to address these challenges. Now, Joe Biden either cannot or he will not be the leader that America needs. When it comes to domestic policy, things aren't any better. And we are burning daylight on inflation, surging gas prices, keeping supply chains intact, and securing our food. Joe Biden's indecision and weakness is having irreversible consequences for American families, for workers, and for our children. We need a leader with vision and with strength, and one that can correct our nation's current course, and we need it fast. The great American story has been turned to a dark chapter. Pain and fear and doubt are echoing of the Carter years. Some say that it's worse because Democrats have a much more sinister motivation for embracing socialist practices than they did decades ago. Today, Democrats are all about control. Now, the question before us tonight is, what is the Republican Party going to do about it? Abigail Adams wrote, "The habits of a vigorous mind are formed in the contending with difficulties. Great necessities call out great virtues." We confront great necessities today. Leading our country through them will require all that is best of us as a party and as a people. Our party was born during a national crisis, the Civil War. Under Lincoln, our Republican Party freed the slaves and preserved the Union, which means from our earliest days, the purpose of the Republican Party has been preserving the dignity of every American's life and holding our people together in times of turmoil.